All right. Ready?
Are we doing cars they've almost bought?
Yeah, we do cars we've almost bought.
I'm gonna actually turn a little bit this way. Okay, well then let's do that.
All right, cool. That'd be a great intro. What are we gonna do? That? Okay, lovely.
Hi everybody, my name's Andrew.
And I'm Mike.
And welcome back to Impact Damage. As you may have noticed, the last 3 episodes that we've shot of this show have all been in the same place.
Yes.
And every single time we've been drastically dressed different.
Yes.
We've been dressed for completely different occasions. Also, you probably didn't notice, but I've had different facial hair in every episode so far. This one, I have the same facial hair. We're dressed roughly the same, but we're in a different place.
Yep.
So that's kind of fun. We're in my garage this time, so hopefully the audio's not shit.
Here in my garage.
Oh God.
Don't worry. I don't think there is a single book in here. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No, they think.
No, there's. Well, actually, there's an owner's manual for a Nissan Rogue on that shelf over there.
That's very important. Take Two dealer.
Yeah.
It's
That's basically what it says.
Probably what it says for everything.
That's basically what it says. Yeah. No, but on a serious note, we decided to just try somewhere different today, just because we could. Pretty much.
Well, and we continue to leave things in different places, so
there is also that. Yes.
It just so happened that our recording equipment was in this location today, so this is where we ended up going.
Yes, it was here, or specifically our microphones were here, and not in my camera bag in my car. Mm-hmm. So, we're here now.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about cars that we almost bought and why we didn't buy them. Because this was actually the topic of an episode that you will never see. One of the last episodes that we recorded, we did 2 at the same time, and then we couldn't use one of them because it got dark outside, and we didn't have studio lights like we have now. So we're going to do this one again.
Yeah.
And
but I'm pretty excited for this one.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. If we could start though, we were at another Cars and Coffee this morning.
Yes.
Do you want to go over some of the tastier things you saw?
Yeah, I'm hoping you took some pictures because I really didn't.
I did take a couple pictures.
Okay, so we can overlay some things.
Yes.
And some things you're just gonna have to use your imagination. Mm-hmm. The one that stood out to me the most was the C8 Z06.
Oh really? I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No, there was a C8 Z06 there.
Yeah, there was a blue one.
Cool. Oh.
Yeah, it was the not the rapid blue, but the darker blue with the tan interior. It was real nice, actually.
Cool.
I did take a picture of that one, so you'll see that. Mm-hmm. There was a really nice Performante.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember seeing that one.
Yeah. Let's see. There was I'm hoping you took a picture of it because I didn't. That Power Wagon, the Overland build. Oh,
yeah. I don't think I did.
Well,
I don't remember it.
Maybe I can find it on Instagram.
Yeah, you probably can.
Yeah. But anyway, there was a really nice dark green Power Wagon with a camper and everything on the back. It was really cool.
Yeah. Normally, people like that put $75,000 into a camping equipment also have an Instagram.
Yeah, generally. Because that's why they do it.
Yes. Because I'm pretty sure the only time that tent has been popped up is at our Cars and Coffee event.
Yes, or for a photo shoot.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Judging by how clean the truck was, yes.
Okay. Power to you.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, maybe you'll get sponsored one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like us.
Never.
Yeah.
We will never sell out.
This is a slightly different conversation actually within this one, but this channel as a whole, the only milestone that I have left to hitting until I can monetize it is just subscribers. So if you, I know I always say at the end of video, if you like what you see, please consider subscribing, but I'm just going to say it again because maybe I can make an extra $6 a month off of this at some point soon.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm going to wait till you hit $9.99 and then I'm going to subscribe.
Oh, you're not already subscribed?
No, I haven't subscribed yet.
No, that's fucked up. I thought you were going to say you're going to wait till you hit $9.99 and then unsubscribe.
I could do that too.
Yeah, go subscribe now and then do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's really off topic, but that's
quite off topic.
Completely what this show is anyway. Yeah. So, what were some of your favorites?
Well, most of what I liked and most of what I'd normally like to see at car events is the older stuff. A late 60s 912 Porsche.
Yeah, that was really cool. I forgot about
condition.
That one.
Yeah, that was a very, very pretty car.
Yeah, I forgot about that because we got talking to the Callaway Corvette guy.
Yeah, the Callaway Corvette. I didn't see it, but there was
they might have left. I don't know.
They probably left. There was a person talking about their original C4 Callaway twin turbo Corvette.
Yeah,
which was a monster of its generation. I mean, that was a very, very serious car. He said he brought it. I didn't see it. Guy's probably lying to us. So there you go.
Well, they also said they had a Supra in their garage at home that hadn't been driven for like 30 years.
Yeah.
So
50,000 miles, all original.
Yeah, it was I guess his wife, the mom's car originally. Who knows? Yeah, but that 912 was really cool though.
Yeah, and then there was there was a GT3 RS 991.2.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah,
chalk with gold wheels.
Yep, that was pretty nice and primer gray.
Yeah, in the UK that color is called crayon.
Crayon?
Yeah, and it's called chalk here. I don't know why.
The UK is just having a laugh at that point. But there was some cool stuff. I was pretty impressed.
It was a good turnout. It was less less wild than the last one.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit more controlled. Mm-hmm. Carrie PD actually did pull some people over, so that was good. Yes,
and to be honest, we're thankful for that because we want it to happen. Yeah. So we want to make sure there's no shenanigans.
We're as much as we like burnouts, don't do them on the street in front of our dealership because it's going to get us shut down.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, when I left, I was behind a Scion TC that did a front wheel burnout in front of me.
Very impressive.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Yeah.
Well, it was impressive actually in the sense that thing had enough power to do a burnout.
Yep. Well, one of my good friends in high school, Kyle, definitely doesn't watch the podcast. But
get your shit together, Kyle. Come on.
Yeah, I know, right? Kyle. But he had a Scion TC, and he won $100 once because one of our friends said, "You cannot do a second gear burnout." So, middle of the night, us high schoolers go below one of the causeway bridges in Florida, and he hits a second gear burnout.
Nice.
Yeah, it had just enough power to do a burnout. And we were, as far as 17-year-olds go, we were very impressed and felt very accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It really wasn't a terrible car, that Scion TC.
No, they're not bad cars.
Yeah, he wanted to buy a 04, I don't know what generation that is. Please let me know after this video post. What were the 04 Honda Civic Si? The last hatch.
Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Before like the 300 horsepower crazy one. He wanted to go for that one, but balling on a 17-year-old budget, he couldn't afford one, and the Scion TC
that's fair.
was a lot more affordable, but he almost bought it.
Yeah, that's fair.
He almost bought it. He wanted to.
Yeah. Well, actually, on the subject of doing burnouts in underpowered, slow cars, let's talk about my i3.
Ooh, yes, the i3.
Because I did a garage update video. When we're recording this, it went out a week ago, but by the time you're actually watching this, it'll probably be like a month ago. So you will have already seen that I bought a BMW i3 and the fact that I have 3 cars now. And what you can't see off camera is that there's, how many people are currently in this house right now? 4?
4.
And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars here.
7. I wasn't even thinking about that.
But it's a problem.
Yeah. Don't worry, your i3 is saving the world right now.
Yeah. I was getting onto 64 behind a Tundra yesterday.
Yeah.
And it barely keeps up with the Tundra.
Really?
Yeah, it was really sad.
That sounds like a drag race to me.
But anyway, no. So the i3 is a great car. I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's great for my use case anyway. It's not great for most people. But I love it. You hate it, obviously.
Yes.
And I was trying to explain to you earlier that it has all the makings of a sports car because it's got a carbon composite tub and it's rear-wheel drive and it's got a really low center of gravity and it's got good steering and then you realize it's actually basically just a golf cart.
Yes.
But it's a very sporty golf cart in a way.
Wow. Yeah. So besides the way that it is a good car.
Yes, pretty much. No, but if you watch my garage update video, you'll see why I bought that car and how it fits into my life, and it'll make sense after that. But the tires on it are where I was going with this. The tires are 155s, and I've never actually owned a car that had smaller than a 200 section tire.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But since all the weight is down low and since it's rear-wheel drive, it can actually chirp those 155s pretty well, which is quite funny.
That's impressive.
It's tuned in such a way where the onset of power is actually fairly gradual. You don't really get full power. Like, in a Tesla or Polestar or whatever, you get full power from word go. But in this, you really don't get full power until you hit like 25, 30 miles an hour, which is why the 0 to 60 is like 7 seconds.
They're trying to calm me down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
They're trying to prevent you from using too much of the 65-mile range.
Yes.
All at once.
And overwhelming the performance 155 tread wear tires.
Yes. Exactly. No, but that was where I was going with that. It has hilariously small tires. But the other fun fact is that I was thinking when I bought it, okay, well, these tires are really small, so maybe they'll be cheap at least, right? Turns out that the Bridgestone Ecopias that are on it are the only tires manufactured in that size. 155, I forget what the side profile is, but they're 20-inch wheels.
Golly,
and there are no other tires in that size. So those Bridgestones are $1,000 a set, which is hilarious because the Pilot Super Sports that are on my S4 are not that much more than that.
No.
So that's going to be fun. Luckily, they've got some life left. But yeah, welcome to owning 3 cars. I know there's plenty of people out there that have way more cars than that, but like, it's a new thing for me. So also I have property tax on that now too.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Although actually the property tax on that is more similar to the Baja than the Audi. Even though the car itself is not closer in price, but
now is that
kind of right in the
is that
middle.
at all due to it being electric? Do you get any?
In North Carolina, I actually don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope you don't. It's
Thank
not
you.
worth it.
Thank you. No, but it's only like $200, so it's not bad.
No,
The
it's not
property
too bad.
tax for the Baja was $71, which is amazing.
I wish the Tundra was anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
But my Tundra, if you want to talk about a burnout machine.
Yes, it is actually genuinely.
Yeah.
Because my friend Jacob's dad has a Tundra too, and that thing will light up the rears pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah, and what was actually really fun is when you lean into it, when you're getting on throttle, it's a dual overhead cam V8 with variable valve timing. And if you lean on it in a certain way, you can hear the exhaust cam profile changing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
That is fun.
Yeah, you can have some fun with it. I'd love to put an exhaust or something like that on it. Or have some self-control, save my money, and buy something cool.
Yeah.
But we all know that's not going to happen.
Well, what were you telling me you wanted to buy earlier? We were at Cars and Coffee. We were talking about how S2000s and ISFs and stuff are crazy expensive still.
Yeah.
What were you talking about buying for 20 grand?
Well, for 20 grand, we were talking about the S2000.
Oh yeah, because you can get an AP2 for that.
Yeah. Granted, that's an AP2 with 130,000 miles, but it is still a Honda.
Yeah.
What might be interesting is if that motor is going in that said high mile S2000. I think what a lot of people are doing now is K-swapping it.
Yeah, I believe that.
The actual motor in an S2000, it's not a K series. I believe it's a F series.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I think. Again, feel free to correct me.
Yeah,
I'm right because
somebody will.
Yeah, because I'm on the internet, so therefore I am right. But no, the S2000 motors are very expensive, but it's not too much to take a K20, K24, convert it to a rear-wheel drive platform, and put those in there.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun for 20 grand. Well, 20 grand plus the cost of the engine swap, but
not 20 grand.
Yeah,
there are no $20,000 S2000s anymore.
No,
that you
true.
can just drive.
Yeah, no.
Maybe it depends how the previous owner maintained it.
That's true. No, but that's how much are clean 944s now these days?
Clean 944s.
Not turbo ones, but like shitty ones.
It depends because the days of a good $5,000 944 are just about gone.
Yeah.
If you bring 8 to the table and you shop very, very smart, there is an 8-valve 944 out there that'll run.
Yeah.
For 10 to 12, you're going to get a great 8-valve, and you might be able to get a good 16-valve, the 944S. I still see $15,000 944 turbos.
Yeah.
I would not recommend a $15,000 944 turbo.
Yeah.
Which is a great segue into our actual topic.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the 944. So thank you.
Yeah, we can go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, because the 944, although I don't remember which variation it was, but I know the 944 was something that you very nearly bought.
Yeah. Very, very close.
A few years ago. So yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah. So getting on topic with cars we've almost bought.
Yes.
The first vehicle that I heavily considered and didn't buy was a 1986, so first year Porsche 944 Turbo.
Okay.
Guards red, phone dial wheels.
Yeah.
Very, very clean looking car. Clean looking.
Yeah.
So I was living in Houston at the time. I had my Jeep Wrangler, my second Jeep Wrangler. That was a 6-speed. And it was right when the car prices were going crazy.
Yeah.
When Carvana first came out and people are looking at their phones like, holy crap, that's $5,000 more than I ever thought.
Yeah.
So, me already looking at cars before that, I was like, wow, okay, like I might be able to get something cool. However, I was going through a life event at the time. I was going to propose to my girlfriend, now wife. She said yes. So that's good. Probably because I didn't buy this Porsche 944 Turbo. So the story, I'm probably over exaggerating and making it sound cooler than it really was. Found it on Facebook Marketplace. Messaged the seller. Talked back and forth. He went over a few things. Of course, he said the car was perfect. Fair enough. I mean,
everybody does.
I can tell that the guy at least liked his car.
Yeah.
Had around 110 original 1,000 miles on it, which is how much was on the motor. Fun fact about 944s and something you should look out for. The metallurgy and how they design the block of a 944 on most engines, if not all, correct me if I'm wrong, you cannot bore those out and rebuild them. So if there is something catastrophically wrong with the 944 motor, you have to get a new motor.
Yeah.
Which makes it something to look out for. Although they're actually pretty stout, all things considering.
It's kind of like my i3 where with the carbon tub, if you crash it, it's basically totaled no matter what.
Yeah. So go back and forth, and I'm getting everything together. I go to, we are on the day where I am going from Houston to Dallas to buy this 944. So I go to the dealership to sell my Jeep. And because I was going to sell the Jeep at the dealership I worked at, and then Uber to the shop where the 944 was getting PPI'd.
Okay.
And I go to the dealership, and I realize my title is in North Carolina.
Ah, that's convenient.
Yeah, not that I have a North Carolina title, but the title is physically in North Carolina.
Right.
And that just made my life a whole lot harder.
Yeah.
So I messaged a guy, and I'm probably like the worst car buyer of all time, and he probably still talks shit about me to this day. And I said, hey man, ran into an issue with the money. Let's see where the PPI goes, and we'll move forward from there. Thankfully, I waited for the PPI to come back.
Yeah.
It had a leak on one of the turbo feed lines, which is a common problem. The more concerning part was it was making about 0.5 bar lower compression than it should have been.
That's good.
Yeah,
Healthy.
not good at all.
That's healthy.
They found rust. They found a couple other leaks around the motor.
In Texas, no way.
I know, right? Oh, everything can rust. Everything can rust, especially when it's probably been other places.
Well, yeah.
But and I forgot the name of the shop where I took it to, but I probably should shout them out because they were very, very nice to me.
Yeah.
The technician who actually was looking at the vehicle talked to me and said, hey man, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know how much this car is. This is not a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well, at least they were honest with you about it.
Yeah. And again, very, very thankful for those guys over there. I'm going to try to find the name of the shop. I'll be able to look back in my records and see that. But man, moral of this story, get a PPI.
Yeah.
Please get a PPI.
Yeah.
Because I didn't on a certain other car that I bought. And
Oh yeah, I wonder which one that was.
I don't know about it. Some weird American thing. Anyway.
Yeah. It sounds like it was fairly recently too.
Your turn.
Go watch the first episode if you want to hear about that shitbox Corvette, because that was fun too. Yeah, so I've never,
Very hard.
Yeah. So I've actually not been to the point of getting turned away from a car from a PPI, because most of the stuff that I've bought is actually newer, but the closest that I've actually come to buying something that I haven't ended up with was a Volkswagen Touareg hybrid.
What an interesting mistake that would have been.
It was before I had my first F30, the gray one, and I had my G35 at the time. I bought the G35 because I wanted an F30 and couldn't afford one. But the Porsche dealer here locally popped up with a Touareg hybrid for sale, and I was like, wow, I've never seen one of those before. So I looked into it, and yes, they are pretty rare. It's the same drivetrain as the Cayenne hybrid, but it also makes you wonder how it ended up on trade at a Porsche dealer. They probably bought some sort of Macan or Cayenne or something.
Yeah, Macan, Cayenne.
But anyway, I went and looked at it, test drove it. It was really nice. Wasn't super high mileage, but it was in the sort of budget that I was looking for. It was like 10 grand. And it had a bunch of features. It was, it was a nice car. And at this point, my parents were still a little bit involved in my car purchases financially. So, some of that 10 grand was going to be coming from them, and the rest of it was whatever I had in the G35 and whatever I had in my own bank account. So,
draining it all out for a
well, because this is also yeah, because that was also in school still too. So then once they got involved, we looked at it from a more sensible point of view rather than just I want a crazy rare Touareg hybrid for some reason, point of view, and realized that the battery replacement on said Touareg hybrid would be almost as much as the car. And, it's at that point, it was still a 10-year-old, not quite 10-year-old, but almost 10-year-old car. So the battery still had some life, but not a ton. So that was definitely going to be on the cards at some point in the future. There's really no way to know when exactly that would have happened, but just the, the thought of that scared everybody away. So that was kind of fun, but I don't know where I would be car-wise now if I ended up with a Touareg hybrid at that point instead of a BMW. But,
I don't know. You might still be stuck on the side of the road.
It's funny because almost all the cars on this list that I'm going to talk about today are hybrid or electric.
And it's funny because none of mine are.
Yeah. There's one of mine that's not, and it's a V8. But why don't you tell us about the Focus RS?
Yes.
Because I've heard this story before at work, but share it with everybody else too.
So the Focus RS. So I was working in Houston again, and we had gotten it on trade. It was a 16 nitrous blue Focus RS.
And what year was it when this happened?
Oh, this was January 2021.
Okay.
So right before the crazy.
Yeah.
And this vehicle was traded in at $26,500.
Oh man.
A 2016 Ford Focus RS, 4 years old with 59,000 miles.
I mean, it's a few miles, but like 26 grand is such a steal.
It is a steal.
It's a steal now, but it was such a steal back then too, even before the market went crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, this is pre GR Corolla.
Yep.
This is still the Mark 7 Golf R.
Yeah.
It's not the Mark 8 with the better diff. I mean, this was the...
Yeah, the Focus RS was still really hot at that point.
Yeah, so, it definitely was.
Yeah.
So, me being someone without a whole lot of self-control, I look at it. First thing I did was look at the Carfax, and actually had the head gasket recall done.
That's good.
Yeah, so for those of y'all that don't know, a plague of the first year Ford Focus RSs was that 2.3 liter motor had several head gaskets depending on what application and what car Ford was going to put it into. I think the story goes the Focus RS motor was getting Ranger head gaskets.
Oh, I thought I heard it was getting Lincoln head gaskets.
It might have been getting Lincoln head gaskets.
But either way, point is it didn't have the right, some of them, not all of them, didn't have the right head gaskets in them.
Yes.
And that actually affected way less cars than people made it out to be. But it was still a fairly common issue, so.
Yeah. Enough
to warrant a recall anyway.
Yeah. The head gasket issue, I would equate to rod bearings in the E46.
Yeah.
Right? It's something where it is an issue. It's something that maybe shouldn't have happened. However, now, like once you get it fixed, I don't see it as stopping someone from buying the car.
Right.
So, recall done. That's great. Had a couple owners, as Focus RSs do. Was in Texas most of its life, which is normally a good thing. No rust. The problem lied with the vehicle itself when I gave it a once-over. This car had 3 different types of tires on it.
That's good.
Yeah. It had one Nitto. The back 2 tires were very, very cheap Chinesium whatever tires that I couldn't even remember.
Yeah.
And then on one side you had a Michelin Pilot Sport with 59,000 miles on it.
Which is the factory tires for that car.
Straight up on the courts.
Yeah. Yeah, because those from factory either came with Pilot Sport, whatever generation that was.
Yeah, I forgot which one it was.
I think the ones with the nicer wheels had Cup 2s.
Yes,
from factory.
I think you could get Cup 2s,
but
it was
either way,
it was Pilot Super Sports.
Oh, so what I have on my car? Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, but again, Pilot Super Sports with 59,000 miles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yikes.
I think those have a treadwear for like half that.
Yeah, but they have a treadwear warranty for about 25,000 miles. So this guy wasn't really interested in maintaining the car properly.
Yeah.
The front bumper was being held on with zip ties.
Good.
Although they were done the very JDM way of drilling holes in the fender and the front bumper and like stitching it like drift stitches. Missing some under trays.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate because as great of a deal as it was probably the roughest Ford Focus RS.
Yeah.
With a clean title.
Yeah. Was it clean Carfax too?
It was a clean Carfax.
Oh
yeah. But remember, Carfax doesn't tell you everything. So,
no, which is where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Because the zip ties would suggest otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of unfortunate because with what it could need and the issues that those cars could have with turbochargers and things like that. Again, even as someone that kind of proclaims it's not the miles, it's the maintenance. I was worried about the maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just couldn't imagine going from a Jeep or something like that to a Ford Focus RS, which would be great. But I just had the feeling that was going to be a lemon. So no deal. Yeah,
straight out the door on that one. Did they end up building that car, or did they wholesale it?
Wholesale.
Good.
Yeah. Well, that was. Sorry, I'm losing my mind as I normally do, but that was before we ever built cars that were more than 5 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that would obviously be an outlet car then. But
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But again, and that just kind of goes into when you're looking at the car. If it's a good deal, find out why it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's instances where that's not true, but for the most part, the old saying of too good to be true is generally accurate with cars. Like my Baja, for instance, that was a good deal. I think it was basically half of retail on that car, but and it does need some work. Yeah. But it's a running, driving car. It starts up every time without problems. It doesn't smoke or leak oil like crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's a difference between a car that's too good to be true and a car that is cheap but needs work.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. But either way, there's some kids in the background.
Hello.
We're filming.
Filming a podcast. It is nice. All right.
Have fun.
That'll be fun to edit out.
No, I'm going to leave that in.
Okay.
I don't even know whose kids those are.
No, they seem nice.
But yeah, that's fun.
Want to buy a Ford Focus RS?
Yeah. I mean, we do kind of look, it does look a little bit odd. We're sitting in our garage in lawn chairs with giant studio lights and a camera pointed at us. So
that's all right. Yeah. So let's go into your next vehicle, maybe the General Motors vehicle that you almost bought.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm utterly against in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah, I was... So I actually don't remember when exactly this was, but at some point, I think at multiple points actually, I've considered buying a Cadillac ELR.
Multiple points?
Yeah, I think there's been multiple times where I've looked at them and thought, oh, they're like 20 grand now. I could have one of those. Obviously, I never have, but
Glad you didn't tell me that before I met you or got to know you.
yeah. Well, I did tell you that I was partially homeschooled not long after we met, and somehow that didn't throw you off.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
I'm still wary of that, by the way.
it was only for like a year and a half ish,
Yeah,
but either way. No, so the Cadillac ELR is not crazy. Was not going to be crazy high on this list because I've never even actually test driven one.
Really?
But it was basically one of those things where you're just browsing for cars randomly like you do, and come across one cheap ELR, and then you look at ELRs in general and you're like, holy shit, these are 25 grand. Like, why wouldn't you buy this over a Volt at that point? But obviously the reason they're 20 to 25 grand is because they were never worth 60 or 70 new.
They were so expensive new.
Yeah, they were.
They were crazy expensive.
Yeah, they were way too much. But they're not bad cars. They're nothing more than a Chevy Volt with a different body. They're not any faster than a Chevy Volt. They've got different interiors, obviously, but the overall quality really isn't that much better.
No, not really.
But and they drive exactly the same, obviously. So they're really not that different from a Volt. But for 20 or 25 grand, why would you not buy that over a Volt? It's better looking. It does have a slightly higher level of technology and features.
Ish.
And
Wait, did the ELR have Q?
yeah, I think so. I think it was new enough for that.
Oh, okay. So it was even worse than a Volt then, the interior.
Yeah, I guess it did have all the capacitive touch bullshit. But either way, that was one of those ones that I just kind of considered briefly and then kind of moved on from.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, the K900 V8.
K900 V8.
Kia K900 for those that are unfamiliar.
This is the one I'm most interested in, honestly.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever actually told you about that.
No, I don't think so.
This was after my first F30.
Okay.
And it started out in the same way as the ELR, where I was just randomly looking at cars and came across a K900, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'd like a bigger, comfy car for driving to and from work, and the K900 fits my usual appeal of being rare and kind of odd. And so,
Definitely.
so I was like, you know what? Let me look into these. And for those that don't know, they did offer them with a V8 for a little bit. It was the same V8 I think that was in the Genesis models.
Yeah.
Genesis is,
I guess the old Hyundai Genesis.
yeah,
right?
the old, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember actually. You know, I don't remember what other engine they had. They probably put the 3.8 in it.
It's probably the 3.8. Although I
doubt they. I think that was before the 3.3 turbo.
I think it was.
The new ones, the new K900s have there's a Focus ST going by in the background too.
Yeah.
I know that without looking because that guy lives up the street from me. So, yeah, no, I think it had to be the 3.8 probably. But either way, the V8 ones and really all the K900s were fairly rare. They, much like the ELR, were kind of overpriced new, so they depreciated quite a bit. But they were still way better value than anything else in that segment. You know, 7 Series, or really I would compare it more to a 5 Series in terms of features. But
Yeah. Well,
size-wise, it's closer to a 7, but
yeah.
either way.
It's kind of like a, what's the Acura? The RLX competitor?
You know, I saw an RLX hybrid the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Haven't seen one of those in years, I don't think.
That is a rare bird.
Yeah.
For sure.
That would have been a good one for our other episode.
It would have been. Yeah. Unknown cars.
Much like the ZDX that we talked about after the fact, too.
Yeah, the ZDX, man.
That we both forgot about.
It goes by our dealership every day.
Does it really? I haven't seen it.
I've seen it like 4 times.
That's good.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cheap now too, actually, I think. But either way, the K900 had a good level of tech and features, and it kind of was an appealing type of car for me at that point because I was further away from work at that point, and I found one that was super low mileage, looked super clean. It was, I think it was silver with the white interior, which is kind of an odd spec, but
A little bit.
it was a
Not
good
too
deal.
bad.
But it was out in High Point. It was like, hour and a half away from here. And working in a dealership, I didn't have enough time off during the week to actually go and look at it.
You don't get free time in the car industry.
So I called the dealer up and asked him about it, and I actually put a deposit on it over the phone.
You did?
Yes.
I did not know about that. That's how close you got to this thing?
Yeah, and then I don't remember what happened exactly, but I remember I did a credit app online too.
Jeez.
And
A credit app for a K900.
yeah. Well, because at that point I had my first BMW, which was worth like 10 grand, and this K900 was like, I don't know, it was somewhere between 15 and 20, I think.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that much cash at that point, so I was going to just trade the BMW, which I owned outright, and then finance the rest, I guess. I don't know what exactly my plan was with that, but either way, something happened that made me not buy it, but I genuinely don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was because it was my first car loan at that point and I just couldn't get approved, or which seems like it may have been what it was.
Yeah, but you would have had a trade-in.
Yeah, I know. It would have been a...
And that's not financing that much. That's actually pretty ideal circumstances for a first-time buyer.
Yeah. Yeah, I genuinely don't remember. But all I know is that I didn't end up buying it. I did go and actually test drive the car.
Yeah.
And it was nice. But...
Well, it also could have been... Certain types of vehicles are harder to get loans for than others.
Yeah, it could have just been the way it booked out.
Yeah, I was about to say,
don't know.
If the value of the car compared to what they're selling it for is so far off and so far in the wrong direction, sometimes it's hard for a first-time buyer to get it.
True.
Regardless of the price.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're only financing a third of it at that point, once you factor everything in, because I don't remember what it was pre-COVID, so it was before the market really went crazy.
Yeah.
And so it couldn't have really been that crazy expensive, but who knows? But yeah, Kia K900 V8.
Kia K900
I still look at those every once in a while, and those are like 10 grand now. Actually, the newer generation ones are approaching that sub 30 price point, and those are actually really good value right now too.
Yeah, they technically are.
Those and the newer Genesis G80s.
Yeah,
those are great value right now too. You can get those for 25 grand too.
Yeah, they're starting to get down there. What I'm excited to see get down there is the G80 Sport with a 3.3 turbo.
Yeah, those are still 30, 35, but yeah,
nice. Those are pretty nice cars.
They are.
Yeah. Not overly sporty.
No,
but
they're decently quick still.
Yeah, and they ride nice. Got good features.
Yeah, they're comfy.
Cheaper to maintain than your BMW or Mercedes counterparts.
Yep. So that's the K900. I would still buy one of those if I had a reason to. I still like those things.
It says, do you have a reason to buy the other cars that you've bought?
Well, all of my cars do have somewhat of a justifiable purpose, but but no, the K900 would not fit anywhere right now because it would be too much of a downgrade from my S4 at this point. Yeah,
it also probably wouldn't fit in the garage too.
It'd
be close actually.
Yeah, I don't know if it. See, my Ram actually would have fit in here if that wooden shelving thing wasn't there. Because I measured it all the way to that wall there, and it would fit.
I'm gonna have to be careful not to get a house with a garage because I'm worried that if I ever have an open space, You're gonna add another car to your
oh, and just keep it at your house. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be terrible, hilarious, and I would allow it, but terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's only fair because I'm sitting here staring at your tool set and your trailer hitches right now, so.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Those have been in there for like a year now.
Yeah, they have been. Good for me. See, this is why you have friends.
Yes.
Good friends like Andrew. So, I'm going to go real quick on a couple more that I had. There was a 2013 Tundra I was going to buy in Houston when I had the F-150.
Okay.
It was a 2013 that got traded in. I think it was like someone's ranch truck. 2013 was 50,000 miles.
Wow.
Very, very good price. I was going to just kind of cash in on the F-150 because I wanted to have something, it'd be more reliable, worse on gas, but it didn't matter. I was driving in Houston traffic anyway.
Yeah, true.
Everything gets 15 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, that's true.
In Houston traffic. Well, anything that I like gets 15 miles to the gallon in Houston traffic. Started up, huge plume of blue smoke out the exhaust, turned it back off, gave the keys back, and said, no, thank you. I also, for a brutally quick moment, was thinking about buying, and I mentioned this in our lesser-known cars of the 2000s. There was a dealership in Dallas, Texas that was selling a Cadillac STSV.
Yeah.
I had no clue what that vehicle was until I saw it. Then I saw that it was a supercharged rear-wheel drive, full-size sedan from Cadillac in a admittedly fairly good era for Cadillac. I think underappreciated. Because that was also the era of the Gen 1 CTSV, which was a really good car.
Yeah, and it was not long after the original Escalade too, which was a big hit.
Yeah. So I saw that, and I was kind of running the numbers like, man, this would be pretty cool. What turned me off of it was, one, my actual self-control, and it being a North Star V8, I don't know. I just, I saw the impending doom of what I do to cars and what was going to happen to that poor thing. Yeah. I didn't think it was going to make it.
Yeah, there is that.
But it would have been cool.
It would have been really cool, though. See, there's so many of these. We could go on forever on this subject because there's so many of these that, like, you just scroll through Auto Trader or wherever, or bring a trailer or cars and bids, and you look at something and like, oh, I kind of want that. But I figured today we would just talk about the ones that we, actually have been closer to buying. Like, I'm going to look at my saved cars on Auto Trader right now. I have...
You do your saved cars, and I'll talk about what I've most recently been looking at. The
very first thing is a V60 T8 Polestar.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool.
No, but it's cool, but I can't afford a $70,000 car right now, so... And then I have...
Pull it together. Just sell... If you show up to a Volvo dealer with 3 vehicles to trade in on a V60 Polestar...
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I'll be there to watch that. I think everyone else should be there too.
Between all 3 of them, I probably would have enough equity to the point where the finance payment on that car wouldn't be horrible. But...
For a V70 Polestar.
No, but I mean, the total value of my cars is like... Well, let's see. The Audi's probably worth 35 still. The i3's 15. The Baja, if you find the right person, the Baja will bring 7 or 8. So you're still not quite there total value-wise, but I think with the equity that I still have, I think the payment wouldn't be astronomical. I would be able to qualify for the loan 100%. Because at that point, I would have no other debt.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Well, because if I get rid of the 2 cars that I have loans on right now, then, whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyway. Then I have I actually have a really good deal on a G80 saved right now, too.
That's nice.
There's the Range Rover that we have at work.
Yep.
which is now 50 grand.
Wow.
Which is insane. With that, yeah.
It's come down a massive amount.
Yeah. There's a Supra.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? If anyone wants to help me out, because I look over aging at my car dealership,
Yeah.
please buy this Range Rover Sport.
Yeah, it's the same one that I did a video on recently. Mm-hmm. The black one. It's a 2018, I think it is,
Yeah.
supercharged V8.
Yeah.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
It's in really nice shape. It drives nice.
It's awesome.
Sounds amazing.
No issues too.
Yeah, no, it's got 40-some thousand miles, but it's a really solid car.
Yeah, no, it's actually.
And for some reason, and also too, like if you buy that car from a Range Rover dealer, it's going to be 60 grand all day.
Yeah, probably 55 to 57 at this point. But
we had it, I think, originally for 56, but
yeah,
it's now 50 or 51.
Well, when we first put it for sale, it was 60.
Oh yeah, because that's what they were in it for.
Yeah. That car was just not bought well.
No.
Honestly, that's the reason why it's sitting. It got bought right at the tail end of the real crazy car prices. And unfortunately, that car has just seen the slow and steady decline, which has been great for most other situations and most other cars and the buyers especially, the consumer. But for that car, it just got hammered.
Yeah, I mean,
really
our buyers are great. That's not what we're trying to say. Our buyers are great. They do a really good job normally, but that car, the timing just sucked. So
yeah, there's nothing they could have done.
Yeah, it's just one of those.
Yeah. What else do you got?
I have another 330 wagon on here. That's a nicer spec than my old one. It's black on black.
It's nice.
I think I was just randomly looking to see if my old one was up for sale anywhere. But
someone's probably still enjoying that car.
I've got an S63. Couple new Vantages, because new V8 Vantages are like 105 grand, 110 grand now.
Yeah, those have not done very well.
So those are pretty cheap now. I've got. Oh, there's an XF Sport Brake in Atlanta right now for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I think I told you this already, but the one that I drove a couple months, or it wouldn't have even been a couple months ago. It would have been.
So probably like a month ago, right?
Yeah, it was probably like a month ago. That car has now made its way to Austin.
Yeah.
Because my friend James, who lives in Austin, posted it on his Instagram the other day and was like talking about how they're super rare, and I was like, wait, that is a white XFS Sport Brake with a North Carolina temp tag. That has to be the same one that I drove.
It has to be. There's
Like,
no way.
There's less than 300 of those things in the country. So, but there is a gray one for sale in Atlanta right now.
That was pretty cool.
With super low mileage.
Yeah. So I've had, and I'll bring up my Facebook Marketplace searches because...
Yeah, you do more Facebook than I do.
Yeah, because I'm far more of a degenerate and I'm not looking at... I like looking at old things.
Yeah. Well, I just like looking at things I can't afford, mainly.
Yeah, no, that is fun. So STIs.
Okay, yeah.
For no good reason. I've been looking at Ford GT500s.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that one earlier, so that one, yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
not brand new ones, but the 07 to 09.
Yeah.
Because they represent a pretty good value. I mean, they are genuinely 500 horsepower.
Yeah.
Infinitely tunable.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a pulley swap and a tune away from over 500 wheel. And if you want big power, it's really just a matter of how big of a supercharger you want.
Yeah.
The motors are stout. That 5.4 is very good. It really just needs cooling and a catch can.
Yeah. And it's sort of a nostalgia car for you, right? So it's
yeah. Because of the 2013 GT500 is one of those like childhood dream cars.
Yeah.
Kind of like with millennials and the FDR-X7 and the Mark IV Supra.
Yeah.
I mean, which is funny, but it's kind of true. Like
no, it is.
When I was 16 years old, and if I had unlimited funds, I would have probably bought a Shelby GT500.
Yeah.
And that's what was out when I was 16.
Yeah.
Same thing for the Boss 302. But the Boss 302 was far more attainable. I could probably swing a Boss 302 now.
Yeah.
GT500s have held their value very well. So
Yeah.
what else do I got here? Terminator Cobra. Definitely not an American muscle car fan, by the way. Ignore me.
My friend AJ has one of those.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, lives in Atlanta too, actually.
Damn. All right. Well, now I need to meet him.
Yeah.
E36 M3s.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And the Panos Esperante Roadster.
Also going back to one of our previous episodes.
Yeah,
This whole show is a circle.
It really is. Well,
This whole show is a loop. We talk about the same exact thing every time.
Yeah. But I mean, isn't that just what happens with most car guys anyway? They just,
No, that's true though. We do go through those phases and tend to have repeating phases.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's accurate.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well.
Anyway.
Well, so now that we've come full circle.
Yeah, that's a good place to end, I think. Mm-hmm. It's a good place to wrap this one up. So, and also the kids are kicking a soccer ball around over there now, which I don't know if you're going to be able to hear on the microphone or not. Hopefully not, but yeah, who knows. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for this week. So we're going to go record another episode now and not change anything.
Yes. And then we're going to tell you that it's in the future.
Yes. And you'll probably see it 2 months from now. Just being real here.
Yeah.
You know, on that'll give me plenty of time to make a logo.
That'd be cool.
I want to I'm going to commit to making a logo for this thing finally.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to commit you to making a logo for us.
Yeah. That's good Stegan terms there.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, we're missing the time element, but anyway. Thanks for watching, as always. Thanks for tuning in if you made it this far. And if you found this episode informative in some way, or if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Or, again, consider subscribing for plenty more content to come.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.